Idag är Biltokig på, ja, vi är en bit ifrån Pomona, men vad man kan säga att vi är i en konsthall. Precis som jag tycker att Henrik Customizing Larssons verkstad är en konsthall. Idag är vi hos Marcel Customs som gör några av de vackraste karosser som man någonsin har sett. Ni som kollar Biltokig kanske kommer ihåg Black Pearl som en bilbyggare som heter Luc DeLey byggde, och Marcel Customs gjorde karossen. Och de har gjort karosser åt flera av Luc DeLeys byggen åt kändisar som James Hetfield till exempel. Idag är vi här för att hälsa på. Marcel själv gick bort för 7 år sedan, men hans son Luc som har hållit på med det här sedan 60-talet, lärt sig av sin pappa. Han är den som driver Marcel Customs nu, och han har byggt bland annat den här helt fantastiska Roadster. So, Luc DeLey?
Yep.
Tell me about, well, where are we right now?
Well, my shop is Marcel's Custom Metal. Marcel was my dad, and we're celebrating 50 years of being in business this year. And unfortunately, my dad passed about 7 years ago, and it wasn't for him. You know, he taught me the trade, me and my brother, and I'm still continuing doing this. So.
And you are world famous for making these beautiful bodyworks.
Thank you.
The first time I heard about you actually was when the Black Pearl was shown at the Roadster show. Tell me about that car.
Yeah, Rick Dorr came in and he had a Jaguar project that he wanted to do some mods and this and that on. And then we started talking to him that, you know, instead of doing these mods, why don't we just build a whole new car? That way you don't have limitations. You can, you know, go full out. So we, you know, put our heads together with Rick. We didn't have any drawings or anything. This is more out of my dad's head, looking through books, looking at the DeLeys, looking at, you know, some of those style cars. And then Rick, with his input, we ended up building that car, and that car was just such a success, you know. So again, we just do sheet metal work. We don't do paint. We don't do upholstery. We don't do mechanical. We're sheet metal guys. So.
But there's nothing just about that, because I mean, the Roadster right here. I mean, that's good where I'm gonna shoot tons of B-roll of it. But tell me, how did your father get into sheet metal work?
He was, as a young guy in Belgium, he you know, learned to shape metal, worked at a shop where they built cabs for old trucks. And trucks would come in with it'd be just a chassis and engine, and they'd build the cabs. And then, you know, over the years, it was more collision work stuff that he started doing. We got sponsored, came to the United States in '63. He was working at just a regular body shop doing collision work, and guys would bring in a Ferrari or a Maserati or something, and, you know, it'd take 8-9 months to get parts from Italy. And my dad would say, I'll build you a new fender, I'll build you a new front end, whatever was broke, he would make it new. And word spread, and then he had enough of his own work at this body shop that he asked me and my brother, let's start a business, you know. And I was 15 and I knew how to push a broom, I didn't know much else, but just working together with Dad over time, I learned the trade and never expected it to be a career. It was a temporary job until I figured out what I wanted to do in life. Well, 50 years later, I'm still doing it. So it's been an awesome ride. I enjoy it. I really like the people we get to work with. So it's
and how do you, I mean, learn the trade? I mean, one of my best friends is a sheet metal guy.
Yep.
And I mean, to me, he's an artist. So I know what you do with your hands.
Right.
And I mean, in that sense, shaping metal for car bodies hasn't really changed that much the last 100 years.
No, it really hasn't, you know, and the way we do it, it's very old school. I use my tree stumps a lot. I use my 2 hammers here and a roller, and nothing modern equipment wise, you know. I mean, when we design cars, it's all with your thumb and eyeballed, and nothing CAD. I mean, none of us know how to work a computer. We just hammer on sheet metal, so.
Okay. So let's take this specific Roadster here. I mean, there's so much talking about Jaguar, I mean, D-type, C-type, but also like Ferrari, early.
Yeah, this car was a dream of mine forever, and I finally had an opportunity to make something for myself. And I knew better than to try to copy something. If you copy something, the experts, the people that can't hang a picture on the wall straight, but they can pick your product apart, I knew I'd have trouble. So I wanted to make something that looked like it was built in the 50s. And there, if you look from here, you see some Aston Martin. If you look from over there, you see some Ferrari, you see some Scarab, you see a little bit of Maserati. But it's not a copy of anything. This is one of one. There is nothing else out there quite like it. And my goal was to finish it and leave it in bare aluminum with no coat, nothing on it. And I wasn't sure if I could do it. You know, normally it takes, you know, some primer, a little bit of skim coat here and there. But this came out extremely well. So I couldn't be happier with it. And I never had drawings. It was just in my head what I wanted. And I like, you know, looking through books, boy, that's a nice angle of a Ferrari, and that's a nice angle of a Jag, and that's, so there's a little bit of everything in it.
Well, it seems like the most beautiful car that wasn't built in the 50s, and now you created it. It's a masterpiece.
Yeah. And once that's the jig for it. That's how I design. I design, and I can't draw, so I design in real life in full size. And once Chip saw that, he wanted to really help me with the details. So he designed my interior. He came up with the color. He designed the vent on the side of the car. He helped me with the windshield. I mean, it was, he helped me a lot with the details on the car.
Well, he does an okay job as well.
Yeah, he gets lucky a lot. So.
Yeah. So, but I mean, this is as custom as it gets. I mean,
Yes.
you created this out of your own brain
Yes.
and heart and experience. But I saw that you have a Duesenberg chassis seating here. So is that like a resto mod project?
No,
this original
this car came in. The body's right here, and the fenders. You know, this car drove in. The guy gave me a ride around the block before we took it apart. And this is a project through Foos Design, and Foos is designing a whole new body, fenders, everything. So all we're going to use is the chassis and motor, and then I'm going to do all the sheet metal work to Chip's design.
Okay.
So.
And this looks like a what, 34 Roadster maybe?
Yeah, it's Jerry Kukul and Chip designed this car. It looks like a 32, but it's nothing like a 32 if you parked it next to one. And this is number 20 of 20. So it's complete. There is no 32 part on this. This is 100% handmade.
I can't tell. But I mean, it's we're lots of guys who dream about, you know, having a car like this. But there are not too many of you that can actually create this nowadays. How is business for you? I mean, because if I think about it, demand should be just crazy.
I'm lucky enough to work with the best builders out there, and I only do the sheet metal part of it. And for me, being by myself, my wife is my helper. You know, when the panels get too big, she helps me with them. It's almost a year's worth of work to do a car like this Duesenberg. You know, so I don't need a lot to be extremely busy, and I like to be really picky about who and what the project is. You know, it's hard to talk me into doing something that I don't like. So,
I can understand that.
yeah. So,
and to take it full circle, what do you think your father would have thought about the Roadster?
Yeah, I mean, I built this car because that era was his dream era, and I call it a Marcel Roadster in his honor. I want people to remember, you know, his legacy, and I knew that this was the era that he would love. So I came up with this, and he never did get to see it, you know, which is a shame. But everybody tells me I think Dad would be proud, so it makes me emotional talking about it. But,
thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
It was a pleasure.
Very welcome.
You're a true artist.